We're going to make the Buttonmaker baseplate. It is activity 5.5A. On page 14 is where it starts. The dimensions for the entire part are on page 15. First thing we're going to do in the program is make sure that we're in the Buttonmaker project. Then we're going to select a new standard part. Sorry about that. That's on my computer. Once we're here, we're going to create a new sketch. In my XY, we are going to start with that big rectangle. Looks like I'm making a center point rectangle, which is fine. The overall dimensions for this rectangle are 11 by 4. Scroll to zoom out. I'm going to fillet this part before I extrude it. So in my sketch tools, right over here, I have a fillet. And I'm looking at the part, looking at the corner. Let's see, in my top view, left-hand side, it is R.5 TYP, which stands for typical. So 0.5 radius that is typical in this part. So there's one over here in this corner. There we go. One down here in this corner. One over here in this corner. This corner. There we go. That finishes my sketch. I can extrude this thing. For my thickness in my bottom view, it shows me that I have a 0.5 extrusion. Okay. Now I have a series of holes in here. The first holes I'm going to do are in my bottom view. So I'm going to turn this part around so I can look at the back face and zoom into it. And I'm going to look at the note on the upper left-hand side of the bottom view. And it reads 832 UNC, and then it has a drilled down 0.2875 times 4. So 832 is the first thing we have to figure out. I know it's a hole, so I'm going to start with a hole. And okay, the 832 reference again is a drilled hole. Here to the drilled hole, you see we have a unified screw thread. The first note we have to say is 8 is the size of the screw, so we have to change our size from 1/4. Go up the thing, and it's a little confusing, but number 8 is a standard for 0.164. Automatically, the designation goes to 832. 32 is the threads per inch, or the pitch of the thread. Then we have to deal with the next part of it. It says it's drilled down 0.2875. So it needs a depth. It doesn't go all the way through the part. So we need a distance. 75. And just to be safe, we'll make this 0.2875 as well. And then we have to place the hole. So as you see, those 4 holes in the back are concentric to these fillets. So what we're going to have to do is we are going to have to change from linear placement to concentric placement. Select the plane where it's going to go. Then we need to select the concentric reference. Right there's our first hole. Once I hit apply, I get to select a new hole. I want this plane, this concentric reference, apply, this plane, this concentric reference, apply, this plane, this concentric reference, apply. Now I'm done with the holes in the back of this thing. We're just going to peek at the corner here and zoom in and see what it looks like. Yep, the threaded hole that doesn't go all the way through, so we're in good shape. Now we're going to turn this part around. And in the front of this part, according to the pictures, we have two holes that are the same on the far sides and two holes that are the same as each other in the middle of the part. So the first one I suppose I'm going to deal with is the hole that's out on this edge. So I'm just simply going to select the hole, and we're going to put what kind of hole it is there. It tells me it's a 0.25 diameter through, so that means, let's say it's a drilled hole. The diameter, that's this one right here, 0.25, that's good. And then the note underneath it, and I'm looking at the top view on the left-hand side of page 15, activity 5.5a, it tells me there's that little V. That V stands for this one right here, countersink. And then it goes on to say 0.5 diameter. That is this right here. 82 degrees is the standard, and that's good. Now what I need to do is say, where do I want it? I want it over here. Only I don't want it to be concentric. I want it to be linear. I have two reference edges. So from this edge over here, it is going to be 0.4375. Hit enter rather than clicking into my other hole there. So I'll just go back to in my browser, select hole 5, edit the feature. You can see still waiting for me as my second reference edge. Although I still need to put this number in, I suppose. 0.4375 is what this one needs to be. There we go. Now select my second reference edge. It's this one right here. It is centered, so 2 inches. Should be okay. Zoom in so you can see what a countersunk hole is. It's got this angled piece on the top and then a 1/4 inch through hole. Need another one on this opposite side here. Back to hole. And we can see the default hole, the hole that I just did is still waiting there for me. I want it to be on this face from this reference edge, 0.4375. And then from this reference edge, 2. That hole's in there, ready to go. Now I have 2 more holes. Those holes, the note is on the bottom of your top view. It's a diameter of 0.3125, 5/16 hole, through times 2. Nothing special there, so no countersink, just a straight drilled hole. It's going to go all the way through, and it's going to be a linearly placed one. So I want one here. 0.3125 is the size of it. And my first reference edge is this one, and that is 1.5. My second reference edge is this one, and that is 2. Okay. My next hole is out here, same size, 0.3125 through hole, no countersink, no counter bore, no thread, just a regular old through hole. Reference edge, 2. This reference edge, that's going to be 5.5. We're all set with holes. That's everything we have on there. Oh, except a little tiny chamfer. It appears that there's a little tiny chamfer around this edge and this edge. So we'll simply go to chamfer. Tiny chamfer means it's going to be about a 1/32, 1 divided by 32. And which edges do I want? This one and this one. Apply. And that looks pretty nice. So with that, here's in my browser, my original extrusion, the bar, hole, 8 holes, and a chamfer. We're all good. All we need to do is change our material. This is going to be an aluminum base plate, aluminum 6061. Slightly changes color. Back to my home view to get a good view there. And we are finished with the Buttonmaker baseplate. We do do is save it, call it Buttonmaker Baseplate with your initials on it, and we will be good. That, save them.